Hey, it's Jose. Thanks for joining me on my journey to I Am. So something happened yesterday morning that made me aware of one of the patterns that was set on me by my mom and her Jehovah Witness beliefs, and I need some help in what to do next. For you people who are new to my channel, my mom converted to the Jehovah's Witnesses when I was 5. We had been Roman Catholic before that, and then for the rest of the remainder of my time at home, we were raised as Jehovah's Witnesses. I left the religion behind when I was 19. My mom is still a Jehovah's Witnesses, but none of my 3 brothers are. Now, I do want to let you know that I do realize that my mom did do her best when she was raising me. I don't think she knows that I'm having to heal from the patterns of judgment that she placed upon me. So, as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, we're taught to bury any negative emotions that we have, like sadness or anger. And because you don't want to bring reproach on Jehovah's name. So when I was 12, I started to go through for baptism. And as I was reading the baptism book, I think it was called Organized to Do Jehovah's Will, I realized that if I never joined and was never baptized, that they could never disfellowship me. Because, you see, my mom was disfellowshipped 3 times during my adolescence years, I think between the ages of like 12 and 15. And because she was shunned, us kids suffered as well. So I'm going to fast forward back to today. Well, not today, but when I was 28, I had an accident at work and I herniated a disc in my back. I had to take some time off work. Since high school, I had always worked, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs at a time, and all my friends worked too. So out of frustration and boredom, I went back to work before my healing time was over. So 6 months into my injury, I was still working part-time, and my employer called me into the office and told me to sign a document saying that I would remain at my rate of pay, which was like $11.50 at the time, for the duration of my employment at that company. I asked for a copy of the letter because I wanted to take it to my lawyer to discuss my rights, and they told me that if I didn't sign it that day, that they would fire me. So I was a second-year machinist apprentice. As a ticketed machinist, I would have made anywhere between $20 and $65 an hour. So I was not too happy about it. But I signed the document, but I wrote on the document that I was being forced to sign it under the threat of being fired. And I asked for a copy of it. So immediately after leaving the office, I went back to my post and I had my first anxiety attack. Within 2 weeks, I developed more mental health issues like depression, agoraphobia, insomnia. And for those of you that don't know what agoraphobia is, it means that you physically get panic attacks when you leave the home. So I gradually avoided anywhere I'd had an anxiety attack. So my world just got smaller and smaller, and I went off work altogether. For the next 3 years, I literally barely even left my bedroom unless I was with my kids or my partner. When I was 30, I attended a work rehabilitation program to help me to live a better quality of life with my herniated disc in my back and the mental health issues that I developed. And it was there that it was diagnosed that I had PTSD from my childhood. So back to today now. A couple of nights ago, I was watching a video by XJW Unbaptized Publisher Lost and Found. She goes by Coco. And she was discussing how she feels the need to be perfect at everything that she does, which I totally relate to. I commented to her that I wish that I knew what the original trauma was that set that pattern into motion. We kind of joked about it, because really probably not if I can't remember it. But literally the next morning I woke up and I understood how my PTSD had been triggered at that work accident. I realized that my company, by trying to force me to sign a document that have a negative effect on the rest of my life, was the same as when I almost went through for baptism in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Essentially, in both situations, I felt like I was being trapped without the regard for my safety, whether emotional, physical, psychological. My human rights were being tramped. So Has anyone else realized that you have a trauma, when it was set, how it was triggered, anything like that? Like, I'm just, because at this point I don't know what to do next. I'm gonna do some research, as I always do, about trauma. I'm looking into compassionate inquiry. I saw it on Goat Lake Personality video that he made with a different Jehovah's Witness. But anyhow, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to know how you moved on. I'd love to know how you're dealing with it, because that's where I'm at now. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me on my journey to I Am. As always, I love you because I love me. And you take care and have a great week.